Of course it is. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Tuesday night Purium call. Leslie Zan here, excited as always to be with you. It is Tuesday, July 20th, and as I've been saying all month, we are in what I believe is the most pivotal season of the year. Your summer season, July, August, September, sets you up. Truly sets you up for the rest of the year. We have a lot of things going on, and I'm just going to do one quick little announcements because I think it's so cool. Did everyone get the email today? Did you see that once you're diamond and above, you get special VIP customer service? And this doesn't just happen, you have to register. So I imagine this email went out to the diamonds and above, but make sure and register. And I would say, as you're working with your brand partners, as they're moving their way through the ranks towards that diamond position, this is just another great perk for getting into that area of the pay plan, moving to the diamond and then moving yourself through the colored ranks. So congratulations for all of you who are diamond. I think, again, it's just another reflection of the corporate's commitment to offer the best brand partner and the best customer service possible. And they continue to raise the bar. So I just wanted to make sure for those of you that are diamonds and above, make sure that you get that information and register. Okay, we have so much to go over this evening. It's just so good. I want to jump right in. I want to introduce my guests this evening. There's two of them. We have two-star crowned Seema, the architect goddess. Seema, how are you, my friend? Nice to see you.
Hi, Leslie.
Good evening. Glad you're here. And we also have crown leader Ra of Earth. Ra, where are you, my friend?
I am right here. If you can hear me.
I can hear you perfectly.
Great.
The mic is in. You've got the radio voice on. All right, my friend. So I invited Ra and Seema to join us. I chose them on purpose for this very topic because you have seen their graduation through the ranks. You have seen them create success. But what you may not know is that neither one of them came from direct selling. And so I thought it would be an interesting conversation to discover the lessons they've learned, or perhaps things they didn't expect, or maybe some surprise. Like, they were both very successful entrepreneurs, but in other fields. So I thought it'd be interesting to get their perspective as they have become very effective and successful and highly skilled in the network marketing profession. So what I've done is I just asked them to send me their top 3 lessons. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ricochet back and forth between Seema and Ra. And I would definitely recommend that you have your journal if you don't already, because there's going to be a lot of nuggets that are going to be pouring from the sky this evening. So Seema, with all this information, I just want to jump right in and start with you. So first of all, do you want to have any opening comments? Just say hello to everyone.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this call. It's going to be amazing. I actually encourage you guys right now to grab your phone and text a couple of people from your team. So let's take the next 60 seconds, bring at least one person out of your team that's not under the participants, because we're going to talk about leverage. And you want to be duplicated right now on this call. So if your team is not here, you're doing everything by yourself. You want to be doing this with other people as well. So let's get more people on the call. There's thousands of brand partners on the call. There's no reason why we have 165 participants right now. All right. We work as a collective. Yes, Leslie?
No, go ahead. I was just agreeing.
Yes. I mean, we work as a collective, and we know that we can't rise alone. If you're here and you're not bringing people with your team, we're not going to get anywhere. We only rise together. And this is why we have to bring and we have to remind our team about these calls. I personally just texted my team because I forget about the Zooms all the time. And if I don't get a reminder, sometimes I don't join the calls, not because I don't want to, just because I just got busy with life. So send everyone a reminder right now, and let's get as many people as possible on this call.
Excellent. Before we jump in, while they're doing that text, I'll pitch to you, Ra. Anything you want to add to that point?
Yeah, I just want to say that these are our perspectives. And I say this every time I teach. Don't take what I say as the end all be all truth. I'm going to give you my perspective as I know it to be. And I'm going to be doing that very confidently. And I just want to give a little preemptive, incorporate, integrate what you feel like, but I'm not forcing this information onto you. And so I definitely want independent thinkers receiving this information. And I'm upholding you to be independent thinkers by speaking to you very strongly within my rooted perspective that I have. I'm not expecting you to root this perspective into yourself, and I'm leaving that up to you not to do so.
Beautifully said. I normally start all my stage trainings with the same point. I normally say, I don't believe everything I say is true. I'm just going to always tell you my truth, and it's up to you to run with it. Well said, Ra. I appreciate that very much. All right. I think those two have just set the stage gloriously for this call. So I want to jump right in. So again, for those of you that have just joined us, Seema and Ra, very successful in their own businesses as entrepreneur. Ra owned a lot of gyms. Seema was an architect. And tonight we're going to get their perspective of the lessons they've learned, or perhaps some surprises, or how this journey has been different in terms of being an entrepreneur and building a business. So I'm going to begin with Seema. And so Seema, one of your top points, so to speak, is you said this whole commitment to personal development. How has that played a role in your success, and how is that different from your experience prior to being in network marketing?
Yes, that's a great topic that I love to talk about, because personal development was really the biggest gift that this industry has brought me. Most of the people that come into this industry have really never realized the benefits that they can have as an individual. Apart from making money and impacting people's lives, right? Our personal growth is really the biggest thing that I've been able to gift people that come into my team. So I say being mentally fit is something that has completely transformed, but it's just half of the bottle, being mentally fit, because I was also not only an architect, I was an athlete my whole life. I was a tennis player, and I played tennis since I was 5. Then I did some other sports, and I was really fit physically, but not mentally. And even in my profession as a licensed architect here, being mentally fit and dealing with people. In my profession, I was dealing with designs. I was in my computer. I talked to the engineers, the land use attorneys, the planners at the city council, and that was the extent. And just sometimes I talked to my clients, but I never had to talk to 100 people a week, or sometimes even prospect 200, 300 people a week. That number was just outrageous. So preparing myself with a mindset for success was really, really important for me. I would say that 90% in this industry, and for me, is mental, and really 10% is physical. Because once we really understand that all we have to do is build relationships and connect with people authentically and just be ourselves, we don't require any physical activity other than maybe holding your phone or going to a gym and making friends, going to a store, just connecting with people, being actually interested, not only interesting. How to transition from being an interesting person to now being an interested person. So mindset was really, really awesome. The other thing that was really important for me was to identify my story. I learned that we are making meaning machines, all of us humans. We put meaning into everything, and we don't see what actually happened, versus we only see what we want to see. And so creating that distinction between the two things, is this a meaning that I'm putting into this person saying no to me, or are they just saying no? they're only saying no. They're not saying they don't love me. They're not saying they don't want to get healthy. They're not saying that they don't want to make money and they want to live paycheck to paycheck. They're just saying no, without all those thoughts and stories that I would create in my mind in the past. And really isolating myself from that, detaching myself from that was really like it was a breakthrough for me, that personal development aspect. And now I get to teach my team on just focus on your vision, focus on what you want to create. Don't put any meaning into anything. Have a positive attitude. You know, surround yourself with people that have the positive attitude, that are always building you up. I'm not sure if you guys have been around someone that every time you tell them something, they're pessimistic. So then you just don't tell them anything because they don't really believe on you. But when you talk to your best friend and you talk to your mom and they say, go for it, now you're like, yes, I'm going for it. And now you're on fire and now you're unstoppable. So being around that positive mindset is extremely important. And that means that you might evolve. You know, I always tell my team, our avatar evolves. I was just talking to my Red Diamond, Melissa, and I'm telling her how she has evolved so much since the moment that I signed her up, that she's a completely different woman right now. And she has to show up completely different. And a lot of her friends that used to be her best friends no longer are tuning into her vibration, because she has, I wouldn't say that she has grown above the other people. We're all in different stages of evolution. We're all having our own experience. No one's better than the other. And I'm not ahead or you're not below me. We're just having different experiences. So being around people with that positive mindset has been something very supportive to that personal growth. And then the last thing that I want to talk about really quickly on this personal mindset has been building people and passing that gift forward. Because when we build people, we build a business. If you're not building people, you're not building a business. If you're selling, but you're not actually building leaders, you're not building a business. And true duplication happens when you train a leader to do everything that you would do and do it even better. When you can just take off for a month and your business still growing because you've trained leaders on how to handle. And the bigger the problems and the more problems they can solve, the bigger the paycheck. We all know if you're not solving problems, you're not getting paid enough money. So I just wanted to share that really quickly because it links to communication skills and personal developments and communication skills. I feel that has been something really important for me as an architect, because I always deal with numbers and I dealt with drawings. I didn't have that much communication skills. I wasn't really aware that I was constantly surviving and fixing every time I spoke, like, oh, you're broken, you need the superfoods. Oh, I need to pay my rent. I need to sell more products, right? I was always in this mode of surviving or fixing myself or others versus actually coming to a place of my values, connecting with my integrity, connecting with what I truly wanted to do, with what my heart desires, and start running from that mode of surrendering, of giving up, not holding on to words or thoughts or even drawings or ideas, you know, because I always think in design, how can I convert this into something that's practical in network marketing, and just releasing and letting that go so I can be more of service, and accepting was really important. So if I want to pass it to Ra, I don't want to take the whole time.
No, it was so good. It was so good. I'm going to sum this section up on personal development. I was told when I first entered this profession, Seema, that we are a personal development journey that is impersonating a network marketing business. And so I think you summed it up beautifully. And you all know my passion for personal development. This is the perfect place to start. All right. Thank you, Seema, so much. Let me pitch it over to Rob. Rob, one of your topics that you wanted to talk about, this, what you call the constant evolution of skills and experiences, and how that optimizes your effectiveness, your confidence, your versatility in the business model. Why don't you expand on this topic, please?
Yes. And I love that Seema mentioned mentally fit, because that is what we're doing with skills. So I'm going to dive a little bit into skills, because I come from about 2010 to 2016. If you guys, most of you might not know, I was one of the top CrossFitters in the entire planet, couple top 100 for all those years. And it wasn't because I was the strongest guy. I'm actually a pretty small guy. It's because I had versatility. I was able to have the widest range of skills. And if you guys are unfamiliar with how the sport of CrossFit works, there's no weight classes. There's just males and females broken up, and you show up at events and you're given the competition. You might have to swim. You might have to do a marathon. You might have to lift heavy weight. You might have to walk on your hands. You might have to do it blindfolded. You might have to do it on a full stomach, on an empty stomach, little sleep because you didn't sleep the night before. So you just have to be versatile in everything. And the way that I look at business, and especially this business, is that our skills are going to increase the effectiveness and the versatility of this business model. And for starters, most of us really don't, well, I'll speak for myself. I didn't know how this business model worked, and a lot of us don't. And so we do have to learn a skill set of network marketing. And these skills are the glue that holds together our systems. And if you guys watch the movie Founder, it's about the McDonald's brothers. And in the beginning of the movie, you see how they basically took the old model of burger stands, which the owners were stressed, food took forever to get out to the customers, and riffraff just hung around the burger stands. And because of their effective systems with people and machines, they were able to get a burger made and to a customer in a matter of seconds, where it used to take 20, 30, 40 minutes. And this attracted families, this attracted people on the go, this attracted people in general, and it attracted fun, okay, because of their system. And so the system is what makes the business. In our business, our systems has to do with people. And as Seema said, these systems rely on communication, relies on creativity, connection, and our business needs systems to market and distribute products. And we use Purium as the products. And so the skills are what make up our systems. Okay, we don't have machines that people are paying for. We don't even have a physical structure. We have people. That's what's going to make our system run. And so skills are attained in our business through lessons learned in action. All right. When you're training for a big CrossFit athlete, you have a jump rope and you practice jumping rope, then you practice double unders, then you practice triple unders, then you practice double unders after running a mile, then you practice double unders after deadlifting 500 pounds for 4 reps, then running a mile, then how many double unders can you do? You're practicing with techniques. All of our techniques and skills that we learn is going to happen in action. And so the more you're rooted in your own personal action, the greater your skill sets are going to be. The greater your skill sets are, the greater of a teacher and a mentor you are to build a capable team with the same skill sets. And the skill sets, we need skills in terms of moving products to our customers. We need skills in enrolling team members and being a leader of that team. And so we want to optimize the effectiveness of our business by focusing on our skills. And you guys have probably heard the phrase, stick to the system. And that's great advice. But someday you're going to be the one saying that. And realize that. If you're in this to go professional, you're going to eventually be the one distributing the message to stick to the system, and it's going to be your system. And you developed the system because you had the experience through action to know which skill sets work. Okay? And so understand that practice takes time. And acquiring a versatility of skill sets is going to ensure the sustainability of your business. We don't know what the environment of the world is going to be like in 5 years. There might need to be some adapting on how we communicate. Even in the last 1 year, we went from public events to Zooms. A lot of us had to learn new skills. a lot of us, and a lot of new team members are coming on and they've never used Zoom before. They've never used Instagram Live before. We are the ones with the skill sets to teach that. So pick up skill sets like I used to as an athlete, as this is a tool that I'm going to use to basically be at the top of the competitive ranks amongst everybody else. Our skill sets are our competitive advantage, even though we're not competing, but is going to be our advantage to get out into the marketplace as far as possible. So the moral of this story is that if you feel like you don't have any skills, then start. Okay, start with something, even if that means I'm going to take Power Shake with me everywhere I go, and I'm going to work on the skill of how many people can I get to drink this Power Shake. And that's the skill that you work on. That's how I got involved in this business, guys. My upline used to take Power Shake everywhere, and he was a friend of mine, Troy, and I would watch him give Power Shake to everyone. And that's how I got wrapped into this. One day he took Power Shake to a party, and Seema was there and all my friends were there. And that was the trigger. Okay. After many years of doing that, but he was consistent with that skill. Troy knew that because he built that skill, he knew that Power Shake tasted best cold. Okay, because he'd done this over and over and over again. So he also made sure that if he was going to be somewhere that there was ice, he also carried paper cups in his bag and usually a gallon of water, all attained through building this skill so that he could be the best at sampling products. So start with that if you don't know a skill. And if you have been doing skills that are working, congratulations. But know that you are going to need versatility. And I just want to say that if we're 1, 2, 3 years in, I'm 3 years into this, guys, and I'm in beginner status. You guys have ever learned anything to a great degree, you know that 3 years in, you're a beginner. All right. You're someone that's just learning. When you get to like 10, 15 years, then you can start recognizing how masters have a different posture, how they can recognize things about their students that their students weren't even aware of. And recognize that this is going to be a long journey for us. And the skills acquired through action is going to eventually support us in that masterhood of being a business owner. And that's going to strengthen our business posture. And so I'm new at this business. Not everyone on this call is, but skills are going to take you and your team to the top. And it's going to start with you. So I'll leave it there.
Beautiful. All right. So you talked about the skill of having the Power Shake with you everywhere. If I were to think of the Purium system right now, I think of widen your reach. That's part of the system. I think of asking for referrals, telling your story, having events, whether they're Zoom or live, asking for referrals. These are all parts of the system. And to sum up his terrific system conversation, my mentor told me 30 years ago, don't make yourself the issue, make the system the issue. And that really sums it up for me. When it's system dependent, everyone has the opportunity to rise to their highest potential, not person dependent, experience dependent, big city, little city. So making the system the issue. So beautifully said. And an interesting little quick tangent. So Ra, you talked about how so many people that came on board this year had no experience with Zoom. Now we're going to move in the other direction. So many people that came on this past year don't know how to fill a room, haven't been in live events, don't know how to invite, don't know the power, the energy, the magic that happens when we come together face to face. So as a company, that is going to be our next step as Amy and Dave start getting out and about, as I start getting out, because we start having more live events, whether they're corporate or leaders like you having these events. This is going to be another skill we're going to have to train people how to fill a room. And that will be, we are going to save that for another day, but just something interesting for everyone to be thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Well done, Rob. Okay, let me pitch it back to Seema. Seema, I love this. Seema, one of her profound lessons, she says, was getting uncomfortable. Let's expand on this whole idea of what does it mean to you and what have been your lessons and how do you drive yourself to get uncomfortable?
Yes, being uncomfortable was a huge one for me because embracing discomfort was literally another skill that I had to learn and that I had to accept that part of this business is being uncomfortable. And if we are uncomfortable, we're doing something good. We're actually expanding ourselves because we always want to stay in the safe side, right? We always want to look good. We will always want to be accepted. We always want everyone to everyone that everything that we're showing to them. So embracing the discomfort was a big one. At first I had a limiting belief that my English wasn't that good because I speak multiple languages. So now I have to talk to all these people, and I didn't know enough about the products because I personally didn't try the products. I tried the products when I hit Diamond, but before then I never tried the products. So I was selling products that I didn't even try. And for me, that challenged me even more. I was even more uncomfortable because I was like, Jesus, I don't even know how this schedule works. And back then, we didn't even have a guy that would explain all of this. I had to do it. I figured out on my own. I remember Troy also wasn't too familiar with how that worked. And Lucy was in Florida and she was unavailable, and I'm here brand new. And I was like, oh my God, like what did I get myself into? I shouldn't have signed up to this thing. What am I gonna do? And right, all of these limiting beliefs and doubts started to show up. So discomfort, guys, has to become your best friend. How can I become more uncomfortable every single day? I thought I was going into this wild thing that was nuts. But the moment that I try to become friends with my discomfort and say, the only way that I'm going to grow if I have a breakthrough on this. And in order to have a breakthrough means that I have to break down. I have to go through my own fire. I have to peel all those layers of insecurities and doubts. It's like an onion. There's so many layers of us that have to kind of fall away for you to start tuning in with yourself. And repetition is the father of learning. So the more that you do something, the more you're going to be confident. The thing that also I had to embrace the discomfort of people not agreeing with me or not supporting me. A lot of my close friends, my parents were also skeptic about me doing this. I went to the best schools in the world. I went to UF, I got into Harvard, got full scholarships, and I really worked my whole life into becoming a Pritzker winner architect. That was my vision. And I was there. And then all of a sudden I'm doing this Purium thing. I couldn't even pronounce it at first. I knew I was just helping people get healthier. Just a little backstory. I love to cook. So in my free time, I started a series of cooking classes, and the cooking classes became very popular. I had 40, 50 people every weekend doing cooking classes. And this is when actually Troy came to one of those events, and because Raw invited him, and that's why we're here talking. But even cooking was something that taught me a lot into how can I cook for 40, 50 people by myself. And we're going to talk about this a little later, and like really creating leverage and not doing everything by yourself. But this being uncomfortable and that experience allowed me to step into an elevated state of more uncomfortableness, which is I tapped into Purium, which felt even more uncomfortable. And having everyone that I loved agree with me and tell me, you're an architect, what are you doing? You have so much more potential. You're winning these prizes, you're doing this, that. My last big project, I was working with Elon Musk on the Inspire campus, the Green Sustainable Campus, that it's being in construction right now. And I was the project manager and design leader of that. And the transition from my professional practice, being uncomfortable in a profession, I was comfortable in my uncomfortableness, if that makes sense. Because in my professional practice, I felt that I have control because I was the one leading. In network marketing, when I switched into Purium, I didn't have control of feeling uncomfortable. That's what I thought at the beginning. And I've learned that 2% of the people that I presented the products or the opportunity said yes in the first exposure, right? That meant that 98% of all of my friends say no to me, and being rejected was a huge one. So I discovered that I had a huge fear in being uncomfortable, but this is the things that I learned, that if I came clear with my vision, and this is why our upline is always telling us, get clear with your why, because the moment that I got clear, the moment that I started to gain my confidence by repeating the same old thing, I remember Michael Maces telling me, singers become famous for one song and they sing that song the whole career. You're going to be singing the same song your whole career in network marketing. You might, tone it a little bit up and down, but literally we're singing the same song our whole career, and we become more comfortable in singing the song. So then I'm like, okay, I'm going to feel confident sharing the same exact thing over and over and over, and having that courage to do that. So my fears really dissolved, and I was able to not be so uncomfortable in my discomfort because I gained clarity, courage, and confidence. And that really allowed me to be in a place when I can start creating instead of surviving and trying to sell more products or sign up brand partners without really a clear vision of where I wanted to go. So embracing discomfort, guys, has to become your best friend.
And I don't know if you agree with me, Sue, but I'd have to say right there, that topic is really the difference between a wannabe and a champion. Like those people who are prepared to be uncomfortable and move through their fears and stretch themselves and hold themselves open for rejection and vulnerability and transparency and learning and growth. The people who are willing to do that are the ones that create success in all areas of their life. And the ones that just absolutely refuse to be uncomfortable are the ones that stay safe and yet never achieve their goals. Like, I really believe this is the difference. Like, this is the key differentiator between the people that want it and the people that get it. Really well said. I'm so proud of you. And I want to come over for one of your dinner parties one evening. All right, let me go to Ra. Ra, my friend, going to your notes. And I love this one also, like y'all just chose super good content here. Recognition of the personal value you place on your business and how to match that to this business model. So the value you place on your Purium business. Can you expand on this, please?
Yeah. And Sima was talking about uncomfortableness, and some of you guys will be uncomfortable in these exercises I'll be demonstrating. Hopefully all of us. I know that knowing our limits and going past it is where the uncomfortable zone is, and that's what's necessary. Because we're talking about business, all businesses use currency as a lifeline. Currency in terms of the energy of the people working within it, and stored currency in the form of money. And this currency is how the business is able to serve the customers, serve the team, serve the owner. And if you're the one who's responsible for your business, then you're responsible for healing and optimizing your relationship with money. And this is a topic that's important. And this is a topic that I've dealt with a lot of being a business owner. As a business owner, some of you guys are business owners, you can create as much money as you want. It's not like a time thing where you work per hour. It's more of a creation thing. It has to do with your vision. And how we think about money is going to determine the amount of money we are capable of receiving. It's going to be very rare that you feel that you're worth a certain amount of money and you get paid more than that amount. And so this business really is a reflection of that. And so we want to make sure that we're doing the work to understand our values and our relationship with money. And this can be a several day long training. And so I don't necessarily want to get into it too much, but I think that needs to be touched on. I made a post the other day in my story, and there was this mansion house in Laguna Beach, mansion. And I got a message that we were just kind of commenting on because it was the first time we saw it. And I posted like, it's great to see possibilities, right? Looking at this is awesome that I get to expand my possibility of what's possible on this world. Like, somebody created a life where they live in that house. Who knows? Maybe they bought that house for their parents to live in. They retired their parents. I don't know the story, but it's possible. And that expansion of my vision is awesome. And someone messaged me saying like, oh, I know who lives there. It's this guy who made money in advertising, and he's a really lonely guy because his friends can't take as much vacations as him. And it's just like, we need to make sure that we're not looking at money as a bad thing. All right. Because we could be blocking ourselves energetically from receiving money, which means you're blocking your business from making money, which means your business can't survive because your business runs on energetic currency. So if you look at an average red diamond, according to our compensation plan, back page makes $10,518 a month, 126 and some change a year. Okay. If I gave you guys $10,000 at the end of July and I said, spend this on whatever makes you happy in the month of August, what would you spend that money on? So that's just a simple question to understand if you have financial responsibility, if you have the ability to respond to a bulk of money that big. Some of you guys will have an answer for that question very, very quickly. You'll know what to spend the money on. You have a responsibility for your finances. Some of you guys might have emotions that come out, thoughts like, I wouldn't spend it. I don't need $10,000 to be happy. I don't need a big house. This is stupid. Why would I spend money like that? This is stupid. I can't make that amount. What good is this imagination exercise? If you guys like think about that, really, $10,500 next month, what do you do with it? Are there anything limiting you there? I'm not saying a lot of money, a little money. There's no judgment on that, but we need to understand a responsibility and relationship with money. We need to know where our limits are, because as a business owner, that's what's holding us back. What do we deserve? And so, you know, we've heard the and I'm going to go a little longer on this one, Leslie, and I'm going to scale it back on the next point. But you guys have heard that like everything in the universe is love, right? This universal flow that's coming through us, and love isn't about money. No, it's not. But love is love is ultimately expressed through giving. And if you have nothing to give, then how are you a full expression of yourself? And so let's heal our relationship with money and be responsible business owners in terms of that, because the business relies on that. All right. Now I'm going to go on to, that's all going to go into this next segment, which is when I had employees at the gym 10 years ago, anybody under like 24 years of age, I noticed did not understand why they were an employee of my business. It seemed like they thought the reason why they were working for me is to receive a paycheck. Okay. They understood that their time is worth $20 an hour and they were there to receive their $20 an hour. It was like completely blind to them that they were a function of a bigger aspect called the gym, that we provided health services to people, and they were a necessary part of that. They like, their brains weren't able to comprehend that. They were just there to get the check. That's the purpose of the job. And we need to make sure that we're not looking at Blue Diamond like, when I get to Blue Diamond, I'm going to get $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month. No, that's not the function of you being Blue Diamond. The function of you being Blue Diamond is not to get paid your $4,000 to $7,000 a month. We need to understand, once we have our value, how does that get expressed within our business? Okay, we have to translate our feelings about money into a business that produces it. And having skills to build systems around that is going to help you. In this business, our value is determined by us getting people into more action than they would have without you. Okay, that's where your value is. Actions such as a customer purchasing life-changing products instead of eating what they normally would have because of you. Action such as having people take a look at the business opportunity instead of going to the beach, and enrolling, which is another life-changing opportunity for them. Action like inspiring customers to be on smart order. That's because of you. Action such as inspiring brand partners to align with this mission to their passions and focus their life force energy into this mission with the team. And so if you're a consultant, you have successfully inspired action for a few people to purchase some products, maybe one or two to enroll as a brand partner. If you're an executive, you've probably inspired a lot more people to purchase products and some other brand partners, and maybe even help them duplicate. As you go up in rank, it's going to get a lot more dynamic in your skill set to develop systems that allow people to produce more action than they otherwise wouldn't have without you is going to be a necessity. So if you're a diamond and you want to jump, or if you're a green diamond and you want to jump 20,000 points to blue, that's a lot of action that needs to happen as a result of you. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to go do the action, but something needs to be created and implemented into your organization. And you're the start of that. Okay, this is what we get paid for. We don't get paid to be a blue diamond because we just have 50,000 points. We get paid because action is being produced because of you. And so you, when you're looking at your organization, you're thinking, where's the action coming from? Is it coming from me? Because if it comes from you, that's great. You will then know how to teach it to other people. But the person who's most important to inspire action, who otherwise would have, is you. All right. You're the first one. Get really good at unraveling how to inspire yourself into action. And that's going to be the first step that you're going to have any chance of inspiring others to do the same. And it starts with you, and then you enroll some people, and then the whole thing duplicates.
Okay. I stepped away while he was chatting to go to my bookshelf and get my favorite books on money mindset. So the one that is in the other room, so I'm going to give you some I'm going to hold up some books so you can take pictures with your phone. So The Soul of Money by Lynne Twist is in the other room. The Soul, S-O-U-L, of Money by Lynne Twist is one. Think and Grow Rich. You can take a picture of this. Think and Grow Rich. This is how old my first book is. Look at the pages are yellow. Okay. Think and Grow Rich. I've read it once a year. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now, if you don't mind somebody channeling the information, one of the coolest books I ever wrote is called Creating Money, Keys to Abundance. I don't know how old this book is, but it was one of the first one I read. And man, I just thought, holy smokes, Batman, this is such cool shit. Creating Money by Sanaya Roman and Duane Packer. If you can get past the channeling, hell, I don't care where the information comes from. Another book, if you can get past the channeling, is The Law of Attraction by Esther and Jerry Hicks, right? I don't care where the information comes from. It's just good. Harv Eker, Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. So I'm giving you stuff that's just in completely different rhythms for different people. Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, so good. Harv, I saw him 3 times. This is a little known one that is just magical, and I don't know why it isn't better known. The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. Like, this one is so super good. Like, they're all super good, and they're just going to give you a different perspective to get through the money issue. And then the classic of all classics, The Richest Man in Babylon. If you haven't read this book, I mean, you just have to, by George Clason, C-L-A-S-O-N. Like, this is almost like Napoleon Hill classic. Okay, just some of my favorites. I don't have any scarcity mentality anymore. I am so totally full of mental, monetary abundance and it's to Ra's point and Seema's point, being a good student. If you feel you have some issues, read the book, learn to deal with it, move beyond it, get the lesson. Thank you, Ross. So good. Worthy of the conversation. We could do hours on that one, but we got to keep going. Okay. Let's go back to Seema. I wish we had all day with these two. Okay, let's go back to Seema. Her third point, we got to be conscious of the time. It's 6:44. Your final one, that this is a relationship-based business. We're going to pitch to Seema, and then we're going to have one more comment from our friend Ra. Take it away, my friend Seema, the relationship-based aspect of this business.
Yes, I thought that relationship-based business is very important because we're all about creating leverage. And I just wanted to go back to something that Ross said with money and limitations. I used to have money blocks. I would always focus on what could I afford, not on what I truly wanted, right? Kind of, I want this one, but I can afford this one. So I will literally pick the one that I could afford because of fear of not having enough later on in my bank account. So really getting over into your mindset and switch and like start focusing on what you want, and what you can afford. So you can start tuning into the vibration of what you want at all times. And that means letting go of that fear. Again, we are so held back in this business because of fear that doesn't even exist. It only exists in your mind. And with that being said, leverage and teaching people the skills that I knew so I could create this duplication process, it's really the path to freedom. I will say leverage is the path to freedom. And I used to do it all alone, even at the beginning when I started. I wanted to do it all because I thought that I would do it better. And I would do it the right way because I didn't like the way that they would do it. I was so obsessed with doing it. My whole life has been doing everything by myself. I mean, as a tennis player, right? It was me against the other person in the court. And then I met Raw at the CrossFit gym because I saw him competing and I said, I want to make it to regionals, train me. And it was me against the other person. And when I came into network marketing, it was like now me and a team. So that was like, whoa, like this is what it is to work with a team. And I really had to understand leverage and how that worked for my mind to really comprehend that without relationship building, I wasn't getting anywhere. Okay. So I want you guys to take some notes and write a couple things down, because let's say that you work by yourself, right? So 24 hours times 365 days of the year, that's 8,760 hours of productivity by yourself every year. If you work 24/7, I work 24/7 as an architect, 8,760 hours a year. When you build a network marketing organization, you build it with a team. So let's think big. Let's say your team has 2,000 people right now. But out of those 2,000 people, only 20% are building actually the business, which is a realistic number, 20%. Let's say 400 people are building the business part-time. Now take those 400 people and they each work 1 hour a day. Okay, those 400 people, they each work 1 hour a day. That's 400 hours of productivity. That now take that 1 hour a day and multiply it by 365 days a year. Now you have 146,000 hours of productivity. That will take you 16.6 years as a solo entrepreneur, right? What you could do with 400 people working 1 hour a day will take you almost 17 years versus you building a team. So we weren't taught these things in school. We weren't taught that this business model is super smart. And we all earn from each other. That's one of the things that I love the most. And this is why I loved about our Fast Start, that we make more money if our team makes money. And only you can do so much. As an architect, I was doing everything by myself. I even built my own computer because I wanted to do it all by myself. I wanted to know how computers work. So in network marketing, we can't do that. Nobody could replace me in my professional job, but here you actually want to be replaced as fast as possible. Like, who can replace me as soon as possible and just be completely independent? Don't call me, just check in on me once a week. But we have to really understand how that leverage works. And this is why I started the call inviting you to invite some of your brand partners so you can start to create that leverage. So 1 hour of your life is not only 60 minutes, but maybe your hour was 120 minutes. Maybe you had a 360-minute hour because you created leverage. And another example that I want to give you guys, if you didn't understand that, will you rather sell $100,000 worth of superfoods by yourself? Or will you rather help 10 people sell $10,000 each? Or will you rather have 1,000 people selling $100 each? What is easier for you? Is it easier for you to sell 100,000 by yourself, to teach 10 people to sell 10,000, or to train 1,000, or to train 1,000 people to sell $100 each? And you're going to have the same exact output, but in one, you're not going to be burnt out. And the other one, you're actually creating freedom. I would say my goal is not to be on the phone all day long. Okay. That's why we moved to a nice house. That's why we're going to the beach every day. My dream is to live my dream life, not to be on the phone all day long. But in order to create that, I need to create leverage. I need to have leaders in my front line that are bringing tons of value. As Ross said, we get paid based on the value that we bring. So if we're not bringing value to the planet and to the world, we're not making the money that we wish to make, because every great person brings great service to the planet. And the more greatness that we bring, the more greatness that we achieve. This is in all sacred books. If you want to achieve your greatness, help other people achieve their greatness. Focus on your team. Don't focus on your rank. When I started, I was so attached to going through the rank advancements because I wanted to be green diamond. I didn't care about building a team. I just wanted to be green diamond. And I never made it to green diamond until one moment I asked myself, what if there is a way for me to get to green diamond if I build 3 to 4 people? And that's the moment that I started to grow, because I started to focus in other people and serving my leaders to create leverage and to actually truly duplicate myself. So I wanted to close with that on this topic, because I'll invite you guys to really understand the breakdown and just ask yourself, how many hours am I working right now in my full-time job? And how can I create this leverage that I need?
So good. So good. All right, Seema, I'm going to pitch it to Ra for his final thoughts, and then we'll have you and him both say your final thoughts. Okay, you had one more topic, Ra, about having an obsession. I love your word choice, an obsession, and how it is a personal responsibility. Okay, we must translate a story of why this business is of primary importance to us. You want to expand on that a little bit?
Yes. And the leverage acquired in this business is real, guys. This is a smart business model. We will be rewarded plentifully for our actions. And first, I had problems with this business model. It took me 6 to 8 months to take any serious action in this business because I thought I was a product salesman, and that felt like an employee to me. Felt like I was selling superfoods for David, Sandoval, and Amy, and I wasn't passionate about that. And my business didn't really grow much. And in order to get myself out of that, I really had to rewrite how I think about Purium. I had to actually think about Purium more as, I hope this doesn't sound degrading at all, but in my mind, I needed to lower Purium because I was thinking I was the employee of Purium. I had to lower Purium. I started thinking of myself owning a store and Purium as my vendor. Okay. And Purium supplies me the foods that I can trust for my customers. And they're not our vendor, but we're partnered. We're partnered in this together. And when I did that, it allowed me to have some independence that I needed in terms of work. And what I found under that framework is that this is way bigger than selling superfoods. Way, way, way bigger than selling superfoods. When I own gyms, like 10 to 15 of my clients ended up opening up their own gyms. My gym was badass, and I poured my heart and soul into people to the point where they were inspired to do the same thing. They would go to other cities and open up their own gym. And I didn't get any commission from them doing that. They were paying me to be a member of their gym. Once they quit paying me and left, then that transaction was over. This business model is such an evolution from that. It's such an evolution. Our organization doesn't pay us for our support, but everything that we invest into them is going to lead to their success. We invest into them, as Seema said, primarily for their success. That's what we want. And when we do that, our business starts to scale. And this investment that we make ends up paying off incredibly for decades to come. And there's no sever. They don't like leave. Like if somebody started a traditional business somewhere else, there is no sever, because there wasn't like this weird transaction thing happening. And so for me, that seemed like such a huge evolution in business. And that allowed me to get passionate about this, to make this my primary, to realize that the other business ventures that I was doing are not as important as this. And it's our responsibility to make Purium our primary if we want Purium to primarily succeed. And Purium, for most of us, is primarily going to make us the most powerful in reality, powerful in how we can serve, powerful in how we can serve our family, ourselves, whoever we want to serve. Purium is a very powerful way to do that. And so we need to make sure that we know what our primaries and secondaries are. If you guys have been an employee at a job and haven't missed a day of work in 5 years, and that job pays you some amount of dollars per hour or year, and you only have a 5% pay, increase every single year, you need to start asking yourself, why is this thing my primary? You can still go to it. You can still invest time in it. But when you're there, obsess about Purium. Okay. Even if you have primary things like having to feed your kids and groom yourself, like you obsess about Purium. I know there's people out there right now that won't miss a day of working out ever. Guys, do you want to primarily be the best looking person in a room? Or do you want to primarily have a fully functioning Purium organization? Because sometimes we have to rearrange that primary and secondary, because our brain is going to sabotage anything secondary. Our brain is going to not let anything secondary raise above the primary. So make sure that we tell ourselves the stories to make Purium primary. This is difficult to do because we usually don't see the pay, right? When we go to our job, we have to show up on time because we don't want to not get our paycheck next week, right? So it's closer to us. This isn't like a 9 to 5 where we work hard this week and we get paid next week. This takes solid action. And this is more like setting up a business for 5 years and then get paid for potentially the rest of your life. And it doesn't take 5 years because that's just some magical number. It takes that long to build the skills necessary to teach in a duplicatable fashion. It takes that time to develop this passionate energy and to translate them into systems and to understand the flow of your business structure and where to put your energy and where to align your team's energy to. It takes some time for you to recognize and develop that. It takes time for you to develop an enthusiasm about Purium. So get to work on that. All right. Otherwise, that 5-year thing could go 10 years, 20. We've all seen the interviews of people that have been in network marketing for 20 years and now they're a millionaire, but for the first 12 years, they weren't making any money. So, and it really takes that time for the reality that you've constructed around yourself to detach from you. Okay. This reality that you're so secured in right now, if you're trying to transcend above it, all of these attachments you have are pulling you back into it. And it's going to take some time to break those ties. And your reality, the universe, whatever you want to call it, the G word, it's going to throw tests at you to keep you in your current manifested reality. And so you really have to align to a new reality and be ready to release attachments that you have to this current reality, to the life that you've known, in order to jump into a new mode of operating. And so become obsessed with Purium.
It's so good. I loved make it your primary, because whatever your secondary is, you are always going to sabotage your secondary. Like I wrote that down. That is just so true. And we've all experienced that. All right. Yes, Camille, this call has been, or Gabrielle, this call has been so freaking good. And I knew it was going to be. All right, my friends, I want to be conscious of the time. 10 seconds, Seema, then 10 seconds, Ron. Then we're going to bring this to a close. Final thoughts, my friend.
I actually wanted to go back to what Ross said. When you make it your primary, you will make it to crown, because when I made it my primary, I got to crown in 3 months. So is that powerful? When I finally said, okay, I'm going to give it a chance for 90 days. If it doesn't work, I'm going to be an architect forever. And in 90 days, I did the best that I could, and I made it to crown. And I did the best that I could. I even stopped working out. So think of a mantra. For me was God is going to support me and money will come to me from seen and unseen ways in abundance every day. And I said that for 90 days. And that's why I made it to crown. And a tip that I want to give you guys, if you want to sell a dream, show up as a dream. Don't show up as a nightmare, and that means that you have to show up and present yourself differently. Before the Zooms, pick a nice background, dress in nice clothes. Maybe you have one outfit that you use every time you go prospecting, but start showing up as a dream, because you got to lead by example. You got to do what you want other people to do. And in one of my architect jobs, when I was working in the Inspired campus with Tesla and many others, they told us, you can't change anyone. None of us can change our friends. We can't change, the way that our boyfriend or partners think. We can't change anyone, but we can inspire them for change. So become the change that you want to see, and you'll see that they will transform because you are showing up that transformation. So inspire other people and you'll see them transform. And let go of comparisitis, as my Blue Diamond says, Karen. Let go of comparisitis. Everyone is in the different stage of evolution. Don't compare yourself with anyone. Everyone has different experiences, different capabilities, different levels of personal development, different backgrounds, different lives. So let go of comparing yourself and focus on you moving forward.
Yep. Did you hear what she said? I gave it my, well, I'm going to paraphrase. I did my best. Like, she made a 90-day commitment to claim this business, to be all in. And that's where she saw the transformation of her business. That is the moral of the story. She didn't say she dipped her toe for a day or a week or a month. She said, I gave it 90 days. That's an important lesson here. Thank you, Seema, truly. Ra, final words, my friend.
So Michelle just asked the question, what kind of brand partner do you have to be to attract the partners that you want? Guys, love your wins. Even if your win is that you got somebody to drink Power Shake who otherwise wouldn't have. Enthusiasm attracts, okay? Be enthusiastic about your wins, about your work. If you guys are enthusiastic about your hard work, even though your paycheck might not be, don't let that squander the fact that you're working hard and you have a vision. If you want people to enroll into your business who are hard workers, they need to see you working hard. If you want enthusiastic people enrolling into your business who have big visions, then that's up to you to reflect that, project that into reality. So love what you're doing, because enthusiasm about it is what's going to attract other enthusiastic people.
I agree with everything. This has been an outstanding call, as I knew it would be. So let's put some love in the chat, more love. There's been love all night for Ron Seema. Ron Seema, I want to thank you very much. When I said success leaves clues, I was not kidding. This is one of the best calls. You're getting it straight from two professionals who have walked the walk and talked the talk. And they're coming from service and they're wanting to be the best that they could be. And they put their money where their mouth is. So I acknowledge and respect and I'm inspired by both of you. And I appreciate your time and sharing with the field this evening. Seema, congratulations. Ra, congratulations. This truly was a beautiful call. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me turn off